LAG can try to take this a distance. I'm hoping for an upset as well, actually. But let's send this over to Lando and Steady to close out the day with the last series, FaZe and LAG.
Thank you so much, guys. Yes, indeed. I hope it's going to be a fun way to close out the day. Jay, it's been an interesting day number 2 here in week number 2 of our Major IV Qualifiers. A lot of numbers to throw at you, but in general, man, it is Atlanta FaZe versus the LA Guerrillas, right? Atlanta FaZe trying to go 3-0, LAG in danger of starting off 0-3. It really does feel like a David versus Goliath type of fight.
It definitely is, man, because obviously Atlanta FaZe, they go through a grueling series versus LA Thieves. They win it all the way in at Game 5. And in this series versus Toronto, swift 3-0 to get that one handle. That's 2 of the very good teams that we currently have in the CDL. Teams that really have just been improving based off of that major. On the opposite side, LAG, they get a reverse sweep. And then they lose that series to NYSL as well. It just hasn't been good for LAG. Coming off of 2 roster changes, you see what Nameless talked about on the desk. When it comes to teamwork, they outslate in that first series, but still lose it. So you need to come out guns blazing versus a team like Atlanta FaZe, especially on a Bocage. And I'm pretty sure the last time these 2 teams matched up on this map, LAG did win it.
They did. They actually did, my friend. Yeah, you're right. Major III qualifiers. They managed to take the dub. Granted, it's with 2 other players than the 2 they have on the team, but we'll see if Slasher and Huke can keep that same presence. Speaking of Slasher, already off to a nice 5-0 start. The flawless streak eventually comes to a close, but I know we see an AR there for a moment. Huke as well, pulling out the automaton. Interesting stuff. Regardless, though, Jay, I'm interested to see Neptune and Huke on this map. We've been talking about, 2 aggressive players. What are they going to be able to provide us with? And obviously, Bocage is a great opportunity, and I guess the biggest spotlight you could ask for.
Yeah, this is going to be all-out SMG battle for both of these squads. Really going to see what Neptune and Huke are made of, going up against the likes of Simp and aBeZy, the tiny terrors on the opposite side. But into the P2 we go. Obviously, not a lot of time going to either squad on that P1. The rotations are going to be here for LAG. Early seconds going their way. They're finding every single kill also in the feed. So it's been really difficult for Atlanta FaZe to even try to contest this. Hopefully off that nade, they can start to apply some pressure. And LAG, they're still holding strong. 22 seconds left. Spark goes big with that 2-piece to secure that time for the time being. And now off the rotation, LAG starting off this game hot.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, my friend. Okay, Spark now at 5. And 1 start eventually does get dropped, but I mean, we've seen multiple players go on sprees. Guerrillas giving their best mean face right now. Up 52-12 as we head in toward bottom grandmas. Atlanta never had the chance really to flip the spawns, never had the chance to really force the issue inside of the hill. Now they'll be able to back up and use all the square footage that grandma has purchased. See what they can do with it as Neptune makes his presence felt toward the top and eventually handles aBeZy. A great gunfight victory as that will lead the charge now for LAG.
Yeah, unfortunately, the nade does not connect right there for aBeZy. He turns that corner thinking he's 1 shot. Neptune eventually finds that kill and they get the break, but Atlanta FaZe answer right on back with 3 in the feed, securing 30 seconds remaining on this P3, knowing that all of LAG are not going to spawn out towards 10. You can start to apply some pressure in towards the middle of the map. Cellium from top grandma is currently on a 4 spree. Can potentially find this 5th onto Slash. He knows the 6. Doesn't even need to shoot him. aBeZy with great shots able to take him down. And what a great response from Atlanta FaZe to get themselves right back into this game. After they get this, it should be like a 5 to 6 second game at that point.
And that's one of the scariest things, Jay. We always talk about with the Atlanta FaZe. It's like, oh, you got to face off against Simp and aBeZy, the tiny tears. When in reality, one of the scariest players happens to be Cellium. Like, he's got an unbelievable KD on this map. Just an AR who knows how to play the lanes of Bocage. Chaos just feels like his playground. Because right now, LAG with the slim advantage, they will hold the spawns for the moment, but ever aggressive are the Atlanta FaZe. When we talk about P4 Barn, it can be really a money hill on this map. You can really soak it up for all of its resources. And known as the Barn, quite literally a cash cow, if you will. LAG doing everything possible, but FaZe knocking on the door, 30 valuable points still left.
Yeah, we casted the last series with OpTic Texas being the #1 team on P4, while Atlanta FaZe are #2 on that P4. Even though they don't get a lot of time there, they do not allow LAG to get any time as well, as Atlanta FaZe are able to take this lead. Now off the rotation, going over towards P5, LAG are going to be on the favorable side. Spawning out towards the back, Arcitys knows that Neptune is still going to be aggressive. At least finds that kill, but now they have to execute this break on towards P5. LAG set up early.
Set up early, ready to go. Spart wins the initial 1v1. So Guerrillas, all is well for now. As long as Huke continues to win the fights and really keep track of a few players that have made their way behind enemy lines. They are going to be in a much better spot. Another crucial gunfight victory for Huke. That's going to be 3 in a row for him. Meanwhile, the Simp still on the prowl, make it 6 in a row. Eventually cut down. The glide bomb denied. But the presence is still here. The aggression still being shown. aBeZy out of the sewers. Comes flying around the corner. Oh, not just for 1, but for 2. There is the break.
And the spawns flip. Look at where LIG is spawning now, all the way across the map at 10. So it takes him at least another 5 to 6 seconds to get towards this point. But Huke, he at least relieves that pressure on point for now. Does get shut down on that 5 spree. But Atlanta FaZe take the lead once again into this hard point. LAG not going to try to give this up. They know this is very valuable 7 seconds. Now that you're going over to the rotation at P1. But if you're LAG, I'm doing the same exact thing that I did in the first go around.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that you're securing those spawns for that P2, because so far in this game, that has been their money hill.
Yeah, man. I mean, what? We take a look at the first set of rotations, and it's LAG at least right there with them. I mean, it's an even game, all things considered. Really, one guy that could make all the difference, maybe even put LAG into more of that driver's seat, is the man that sits on the screen right now. Huke, 10 and 12, trying to make some big impact kills. And in fact, whenever they did beat Atlanta FaZe, LAG, right when they were able to take them down on Bocage and Major 3, it was because of his performance. Went 33 and 20. The net LAG a 1-0 advantage. As we said, just a number of different players to look out for. But Huke sits atop the list right now for the Guerrillas. An even exchange, both teams posturing for position. But Guerrillas holding strong to not give up those spawns, Jay.
Yeah, Guerrilla just spreading the map, not trying to allow any players to slip through water side. And if you're Atlanta FaZe, just soaking as much time as they can off of this P1 is the game plan right now. As Arcitys, he does find that too. Able to give them the man advantage off this rotation. Take down Slasher off of that P2 tank as well. So now this is going to force LAG to scramble on their setup. You have one player who does spawn out towards the front side, but they're perfectly set up for it. They read the spawns for Atlanta FaZe, knowing that they're coming from water, and LAG should be able to take the lead right on back.
Yeah, they should indeed be able to do so, Simp. Great plays on the flank. Same thing for aBeZy. Felt like LAG was doing all the right things, prioritizing where players were coming from, but Atlanta, with those spawns toward River, they just eventually get enough netted toward the back and are able to break those very, very tedious spawns. Like we said, something great that LAG did on the first set of rotations. Very even game up to this point, but FaZe with the slim advantage. As we prepare for next, let's go ahead and step aside and go to an Atlanta FaZe. Listen in.
He's got top flat.
It's on character.
Top flat. I can't see him. Dead.
Nice.
Are you
Shit.
Are you top house?
Try and go top house. On shit, top house.
Watch it, return. Jump up here. Guys. I went top house, guys.
Yes,
I can chill.
Any street. I got
I went top house. I have tools.
On the street, guys. Start.
They're all spawning streets.
Back 3, Austin, 1 shot.
They're all streets, I guess.
Absolute back Austin, 1 shot. He's tower. Austin's tower. Austin's tower.
Tower.
Nice, 2 down. 2 down. Front time. That is
I
time.
left time dead.
We can do the full door then.
I'm going top.
I'll get top. Put in. Wait, weak.
Nice.
He just slid in the
He's on
right.
right.
He's in the right.
Oh, two now.
I'll see deep shot. I don't see deep
I don't
shot.
see him.
Top us now.
He might jump down behind it.
I'm 50 time.
Bar.
On it.
Tower 2. It's all good.
Bar Neptune.
Tower.
Okay,
there's a guy
come
tower.
right now.
I'm ready.
Yep, try. I'm going more tank.
I'm only path you guys.
Hold on, Martin.
I'm crossing.
Get deep tank. I just saw him crush him 10.
I'll see top. I'm trying to deep tank.
I need anything.
Nothing mid.
No, but barrels. Kyle, I hit him with the tank.
I need anything.
River hop.
Okay, go.
Hate corner. You guys gotta hit that.
One tractor now. Check.
P2 got me. We are good.
Austin high.
Okay.
Now hold.
Yeah, you got you.
Front door. He's on the door.
Austin on 5.
Just go on track.
He's not.
Yo, jump down Z.
Austin check. He's still check.
Watch out Z, guys. We gotta push our right.
And you can just tell Atlanta FaZe are in the mix. Those listens right there. It was very hard to understand at certain points. Gunfights just going left and right, but at least what stood out for me was that you heard the communication from Arcitys. All right, let's start to slow this one down. Let's start to play our lives a little more. But then on the opposite side for LAG, Neptune and Spark really are just shutting them down with 2-piece after 2-piece. You started at that P3, then you find yourself with the rotation towards P4, which is usually a money up for Atlanta. But LAG, they hold it down. Now they have a 35-point lead.
Yeah, man. I mean, it just feels like LAG not giving up all that much points. I mean, especially when Atlanta FaZe go for the break, it's just not happening. Spark finds himself on a 5 spree. That's the second AR really in a row for Guerrillas. They've fallen so close into earning that glide bomb. It was Slasher on 6, and as we said, Spark falls at 5. 200 seconds reach for the Guerrillas. aBeZy trying to hold true. Cellium toward the back lines has got some early aggression being displayed. And as you said, partner, Huke and Neptune come roaring on through, breaking open the setup, and at least delaying Atlanta FaZe to get some of these seconds. A very, very important hard point. As we said, Guerrillas just trying to limit the time and keep themselves at a stable advantage. 13 seconds left. Neptune goes for the challenge and ultimately falls. FaZe get some crucial time, but still down by 20.
This is a big game, man. Back and forth we go. Off the rotation now towards P1. We saw the last time Atlanta FaZe were able to get a good chunk of time off of that P1, but if you're LAG, you cannot allow that. It's going to be double the trouble. You have to not allow them to get time and also keep control of the spawn for that P1. It's LAG. Early control to start us off. All of Atlanta FaZe spawning out towards that tower side. This has been greatly uncontested time on this P1. But here comes the pressure from Atlanta FaZe. They're slowly trying to set up this pinch. 2 players attacking from water, ready from Little Shack. And now Atlanta FaZe get on the clock.
Slasher in a big fight for spawns. Trying to be consistent toward the back lines. Literally being a statue as well as you can be one. At least you're on Bocage. The ARs are out. And now being put in positions where they're going to have to win some up-close battles. MC falls in the 4 spree, and LAG locking up these seconds. More importantly, Jay, they've got this P2 up, ready, and prepared. Primary reason why the Guerrillas find themselves in the driver's seat is because of their ability to hold on to hard points. Could this be another one as Huke begins to erupt? Trying to catch Atlanta FaZe off guard. That's now going to be 7 for Huke. What? Literally the nuke blowing up Atlanta FaZe's setups. Now not allowing for them to make any headway toward the objective. Eventually silenced, but take a look at that scoreboard. Guerrillas very, very close between them and that 250 mark.
Yeah, now they have the safety net though in this glide bomb. You can invest this to break the setup for Atlanta FaZe. They do find 2, but Huke finds 2 with that glide. You still have pressure here if you're Atlanta. You want to try to soak this time up as much as you can, but not allow LAG to no longer win on this point. Look at the pinch coming in from Huke. He pinches all the way from top plat. He is going to be able to win those gunfights, allow his teammates to get the break, and Huke the nuke. 10 points away from closing out map number 1 is making plays.
Still making plays, being such a thorn in the side. Eventually dealt with as MC gives him the hands, but that's not going to matter. Guerrillas will lock down the point and take map number 1, Bocage HP. Again versus the Atlanta FaZe. Jay, they did the same thing in Major 3, and now they do it here in Major 4, and that is the best way to kick off what would be a Cinderella story type of victory. Get the job done in game 1.
What a game 1 from LAG. Like you said, this can be such a big win for them. They haven't been able to get any points so far in this stage. They're currently sitting in that 8th spot, up by 5 points. Luckily that the teams underneath them also lost their matches, still keeps them in the top 8. But if you can come out and get this win for Atlanta versus Atlanta FaZe, it keeps your winning bracket dreams alive at the major, and also your champs lives also very highly contested. This 10 points can be so massive for this team, and to come out swinging on a map like Bocage versus Atlanta FaZe, even though the last time you did match up, you did beat them. But to beat them twice on this one is not an easy task to get done. Slasher has himself a map at 34 and 23, but it was all about the SMGs for me, man.
Yeah.
Huke and Neptune really just went big at the crucial moments. 2-piece when needed, when you need to stay alive in those crucial moments, especially around that P2 area. They always did a great job of doing so. Atlanta FaZe simply could not flip those spawns for P2 any given second that they had. There was multiple players from LAG just set up on the layers of the defense. Slasher watching the back, multiple players watching towards the front. They always kept the kill stagnant to control those spawns. Great work from LAG to come out hot in this map number 1. Now they gotta take it into this map number 2, where Atlanta FaZe have been kind of dominant in search and destroy.
Yeah, they absolutely have, but I mean, signs are good, at least off the start for LAG. I think it was Nameless who mentioned, like, he just needs to see this team at least win a respawn, more specifically win a hard point, given the struggles and the control, the inconsistency at time in the search destroys. And with, as you said, man, Atlanta FaZe looking so much better in those S&Ds as of late. I felt like this Bocage hard point, while a difficult one to give for the Guerrilla side, it is one they take regardless. You got to give a lot of props to that man Slasher. Just a number of different highlights throughout this game, Jay. But finishes off 34 and 23. We talk about some players, some veterans, some iconic names in the scene who could be in danger of missing champs. Slasher, one of those players trying to go off for the team and hold off what is one of the scarier teams on Bocage. Does so to start. But again, man, it is still early in this series. You can never count out the Atlanta FaZe, but a telling W to start this one off.
Definitely was, and touch a little bit more on that map number 1. Keep in mind, we saw multiple Atlanta FaZe players on 5 sprees, on 6 sprees, but they can never earn that glide bomb. LAG just got the right kill at the right time to not allow them to earn that kill streak to potentially break one of their setups. Now we're going into a Berlin search and destroy, where statistically this is LAG's strongest S&D map, but going up against a team like Atlanta FaZe, who are in their last 2 matches 18-2 in search and destroy rounds. You have aBeZy who's sitting at a 1.25, really stepping up in search and destroy.
1.25?
Yep.
That's
not done
solid,
yet, though.
Man. You're
not done yet, though. Not done.
Right.
We also have Arcitys who's sitting at a 1.7.
Okay.
Still not done. Still not done. We even got Cellium sitting at a 2.0.
A 2 point. Okay, that's one.
Not done yet. No, one more. We have Simp at a 3.0 S&D KD so far in stage 4. The guy's 3 people on the S&D map.
Okay.
Atlanta FaZe have been dominant in this mode.
Jay, I was impressed with the 1.25 out of aBeZy. Little did I know, Simp, I guess, is doubled him up. Like, that is
3.0. Yeah.
That is wild. I mean, you know, that's I don't know how you wrap your head around that. I mean, obviously, if you're us, you got to point out the stats. But that is terrifying.
Definitely.
Literally, Simp is taking 3 players to the grave with him every single life in search destroy. So I mean, hey, I like how you did that, by the way, Jay. You're like, you know what? This is LAG. This is their best search destroy map. By the way, Atlanta FaZe, their lowest S&D KD is a 1.25. By the way, the best player has a 3 KD. So there is that to think about, Guerrillas. You know, the job is not done yet, Jay.
Job is definitely not done,
yet.
but like I said, this is statistically their best map, going up against Atlanta FaZe, who are 7-7 on this map. For Atlanta FaZe, their biggest standout has to be on their defense. They're 55% on defense, 48% on their offense, but they're 60% in their retake situations as long as the numbers are even. So that's huge. 4v4 retakes at B can come into a massive play in this search and destroy. And on the opposite side for LAG, a little bit better on the defensive side, but I mean on the offensive side, but lack on the defensive side. 58% on their attacking rounds, where they're seeing over 60% towards either bomb site in success. So it's good for them to slow and steady win the race, get this bomb down, you find a lot of success. And then on the opposite side for Atlanta FaZe, their defense has to hold strong.
Yeah, it absolutely has to. This is gonna be another great test, right, for the Atlanta FaZe. We've been talking about their improvements in search destroy. And as you mentioned, they're gonna have to face off against a team that loves this very map and mode. A great beginning, however, for the Guerrillas to start off this attack. Not only did they get the bomb down, but they find not just 2, but make it 3 players. Cellium, a wonderful player, but a 1v4 is never going to be an easy task. And there you go, Jay. KDs, they're starting to lower a little bit.
They just take it right to them. Right there, Atlanta FaZe, they were prepared for that early B push, for the early aggression to go on that side of the map. Just caught Arcitys off guard. He was the only player at that A site. No hesitation on that push from LAG towards A. They get that first blood. Eventually, Spark finds the second, and even Slasher on the late flank finds the third. 4 up, 4 down, clean round for LAG.
Yeah, very clean round out of the Guerrillas. As Huke looks on, now to the defense. Atlanta FaZe, not a kill to their name. Really, actually a team ace. It was a team ace out of the Guerrillas. It does not get much better than that. Atlanta FaZe keeping up the same strats as they will make the firm push over toward A. Neptune, thankfully, does get out of dodge. See if he can find himself in a nice position, but it's Slasher from the back lines all the way over at the plat that starts things off nicely. Cellium at least evens the odds, as now the bomb does get planted. It's up to the LAG retake.
Now in the 3v3. Arcitys the player that's watching that flank. 2 players from LAG trying to attack this from top plat, but aBeZy, He's puts himself in a better position towards lower dubsteps. Does not have that dead silence to work with, so has to time this right. Finds that kill onto Spark. Eventually, they take down Slasher as well, and now it's Huke. The player on the flank at least does take down Arcitys. 15 seconds to work with. Not going to be easy to get done. Atlanta FaZe answer with an attacking round of their own towards that aBeZy. I would have liked to see when Slasher gets that first blood for Neptune to just slow down right there. There's no reason for you to fly through bottom secret door to try to make that play. When you had the man advantage, they still haven't planted the bomb. You just got to let that play develop a little longer, and you potentially find that kill. But he walks right out, gives the free kill to Cellium, turns it into a 3v3, and then they hold strong on their defense for that round.
Yeah, and imagine too, I mean, if he stays over at the plat, Slasher finds that first blood. They've got 2 players who are just ready and waiting for any attack that Atlanta FaZe wants to make. A little over-aggressive. There was Neptune, but it does even things up. Now we're at a 1-1. LAG back on the attack. It has been all-out pressure toward the B site, and it appears that this round, or excuse me, toward the A site, and it looks as if that strategy will look to continue. Simp in a great position toward top fire. Ends up erasing Slasher from this round. But Huke's able to even things up himself, continuing to be a problem. Now at a 3-1 scoreline as Guerrillas attempt to make the pivot. They still aware.
This can still work out. FaZe putting all their players over towards that A site. Don't know if they're going to be able to read this rotation. aBeZy kind of knows what's going on. He's going to actually rotate his way all the way towards that A site. This is going to be a freebie bomb plant for LAG. But aBeZy, that player that we need to watch working that late flank, can break the setup for LAG. They're not going to have anyone back up towards back warehouse. 2 players are going to play tight and tight.
It's gonna be a scary spot. Spark found out. Job done for the first for Atlanta. Where are the final 2 players hiding? In fact, back-to-back inside of the B site. Neptune spotted and dealt with. aBeZy with the AR. Decides to plunge on in. Pistol out, and thank you very much. Luke, what are you doing on your belly? Quite literally a perfect retake, Jay. 3 versus 3. LAG scattered, and Atlanta find each and every single one of them. 2-1. Or Atlanta.
aBeZy just did what he needed to do. He gets the information that these guys are not pushing through A and commits towards that flank. You saw Spark in his position top 3. He was watching that flank, but at that point, it was too late. aBeZy sneaks right on by. They take care of Spark, and even right there, when it turns to a 1v3, you see aBeZy. He's trying to close that door, just stick to defuse, not really expecting another player to be on site. Just sees Huke laying down. It's just like, okay, freebie. Gets that one. And a 3v3 take is successful from Atlanta FaZe now to go up 2-1.
Yeah, Huke was like, it'll all be over soon. Maybe I'll just close my eyes and hope they go away. Maybe they will, but not in fact. This is God. But could be a nightmare indeed. We described the series earlier for, I think it was Paris versus OpTic Texas. We talked about nightmares, the dream. Quite literally still alive for many of our teams. LAG trying to keep themselves in the running. Very narrowly in that top 8. Want to keep themselves in that position. A few pokes at Simp. Ultimately, nothing done. All 8 players alive. As the bomb very carefully makes its way more and more toward the aBeZy side.
And Neptune, he puts himself in a great position. He's just going to sit this corner by desk. He's getting all these sound cues that players are approaching his site. All his job is to do is at least get one, but aBeZy with the read. Able to find that first blood, and even across the map, Cellium, he's trying to get out of dodge. He gets taken down by Huke, so now in the 3v3, bomb is going to get planted. But now if you're Atlanta FaZe, you have to know that Huke is on the flank.
Goodness, aBeZy, can you be any louder at this point? My goodness, jumps on through. Doesn't matter. 5 in a row, nearly makes it 6. But Huke and Spark come out on top when it comes to the trades. 30 seconds left. Simp has got to know that Huke is here. Back and forth we go, but Simp's able to take it. Has to check the bomb. Spot Spark just toward his left. Simp tries to run through the wall, but it's not going to work out for him. Spark ultimately crossed over, and it's Simp who clutches out the 1v2. Gets a little bit too close for comfort, but Simp, primed and ready in a spot where he has to go big, he delivers, Jay.
2v1. Simp gets it done. Takes down that kill onto Huke. And then in the 1v1, all you have to do is get the information of where Spark is. He's trying to be super aggressive into his train. Simp does a great job of just staying alive. Use the tacticals also to slow him down. Even though he doesn't get the hit registration with him. pulls out the pistol that he couldn't run through the wall, and reads the play beautifully. You can tell that was a very frustrating round for Smart right there. He's thinking something completely different happened, not the simple thing, and simple sometimes is just enough. As aBeZy follows up with another first blood going into this round. 3v4 already is going to be LAG.
I just love to see aBeZy as well with this automaton, man. Just doing some great damage. I've always talked about him being an SMG player, but able to get some crucial kills, some ones at range that maybe the MP40 isn't all that prepared for. Finds another pick on the Huke. Only Arcitys has fallen for Atlanta FaZe. Well, I guess you could tee up aBeZy too. 1v2 now left for Slasher. A bomb site to try and defend. As Simp is here to distract, closes the doors. And Slasher's wondering which one does he go through? Is it door 1, door 2, or door 3? Doesn't matter. Door closed right in his face at Atlanta FaZe. 4 rounds in a row.
That's just so clean from Atlanta. They get the first blood on towards site. aBeZy sneaks his way on through and eventually finds the second. And then Simp slips his way in through the flank. We thought aBeZy was the flanker. Nope, they both can do it. Simp makes his way through the backside of that bull house, gets the information of Slasher, and then just closes that door. Makes it so difficult for Slasher to try to find that kill.
What a great strat.
Like, that was a very, very tilting round right there for Slasher.
You see a little smirk on Simp's face. It's like, what a great strat. It's like, you know what? I'm getting shot. We talk about doors so often in Vanguard. Just close them from time to time, Jay. Just close them. Makes it very frustrating for the opponent. But 4-1 now are the Atlanta FaZe. Arcitys is yet to get a kill. He is just firmly right now in the Jansport, having a great time calling out the cross and letting the trio do all the damage that they have to. But aBeZy, another opportunity for a first blood. Does not have the automaton out, but will rock with the 40. Sitting toward top 3. I mean, if Neptune just pokes out an elbow a little bit too far, he is dead to rights at the same time. So could aBeZy. Great a great read from the SMG duo of the Guerrillas. Picking off one to start. Oh, it's Spart who had the sniper, but it's Simp who apparently has the beamer.
Yeah, you can't commit towards that gunfight. You have the man advantage. All you're doing with that sniper in your hand is playing for that information. But Simp with the beams, able to at least make this a 3v3. But with aBeZy dropping that bomb towards top 3, it's not going to be an easy task to get done. He kind of had the information that Neptune is going to be playing towards the middle of the map. Get some information also that the player is going to be on that B site, but time is starting to tick down. Atlanta FaZe need to grab this bomb and plant it.
Oh, they absolutely do, but Slasher Neptune come away with the double. Cellium also hits the deck, and thankfully, LAG is at least able to get a round on the board. That would have been 5 rounds in a row, or at least able to silence a bit of that momentum from the opposition. They had such a great early round, and really have yet to see them get anything done since. And as you said, it was a little bit scary considering where that bomb was. These 4 Atlanta, good work out of the Guerrillas to at least keep this one still afloat. Swing round ahead.
So now if I'm LAG, I don't want to slow down on these attacking rounds. We saw their early success in their very first round was just all-out pressure towards A. Just try to commit towards one of these sites and just play the gunfights at that point. Because they're going to be super aggressive towards B. 3 players, though. Actually, all 4 players from Atlanta FaZe are ready for this retake. Remember what I said, 60% in their forward for retake situations. They have to show it here.
They do. They showed aggression. We'll see if they can try to answer with it again. Spart's position made known. Neptune goes for the challenge. He and Slasher able to find the first and the second kill to start off this round. Now make it 3. Neptune firmly on the site, has no plans of vacating this position. Arcitys falls and joins the agency in the process. Guerrillas back to back.
No hesitation right there on that B push, just like they did on their A push. You get that bomb down for retake. You play your trades at that point. No one drops on the side of LAG. Neptune goes big by winning those 2 gunfights on point to secure the round for LAG. And so far, this has been the closest search and destroy that Atlanta FaZe have had to play in their last 3 series, with LAG getting that 3rd round.
And again, man, you just want to see Arcitys at least get a little bit of confidence, right? Find a first blood, get a pick. Did not have a great showing in that opening bocage. And as we said, joins the agency to start things off here on Berlin. Atlanta carefully gonna try to make their way into B. They were very, very fruitful when it came down to the last run on defense. Huke, oh, he's gonna find the timing. He finds the timing somehow, is able to stay alive for the moment. It looked like Atlanta We're gonna have that crossfire set up so that we'll leave for the pick. Bomb goes down, and LAG have got a bit of work to do. Slasher able to find the first. Arcitys from afar gets his first kill on the board, and it's arguably one of the most impactful ones of the game. Cellium from range as the automatons continue to reign here throughout this round. Can Slasher get a little bit of jobs done? 10 seconds left, and Arcitys just has to play the time. He's gonna have to go for the challenge. Spark hops the defuse. Oh, Arcitys! He takes him off, and he'll nearly find Slasher as well. Does the job that he has to. A slower series from Arcitys, but puts Atlanta FaZe at their 5th round.
That's a big round from Arcitys to finally get some kills on the board, but to clutch up the 2v1 when his team needs him the most. I thought once Slasher finds that kill onto Cellium, you're going to stay pushed out towards Warehouse and at least try to look for that kill onto Arcitys, but you know, there's so many different angles that you have to check. You don't want to just focus on one, so they decide to play the body stack. Arcitys with the beamer to take down Smart off of that site. Not able to find the second, but just enough to secure the round for Atlanta FaZe, now at game point.
See if the Guerrillas have got a bit of magic left, Jay. Down 5 rounds to 3. What it would mean for this team just to go up 2-0, to have that guaranteed game 5 versus FaZe. And as we said, the job, it starts here. The journey begins now. 3 men strong in the A site as they look to push on forward. Arcitys tosses out the nade. No information yet.
He's got a little help this time around, though. Simp in a great spot. At least gets the information, but Spartan and Neptune combined for both of those kills. Now A is going to be wide open. You know that Slash is just the island player roaming towards the middle of the map. Doesn't even finish the kill onto Cellium as he breaks his ankles, jumping off of that top 3. Now in the 1v4, aBeZy knows the positioning of Slasher, but again, another clean attacking round for LAG. That's 3 rounds on their attacking side where they have gotten every single kill and not a single player has dropped. Now down 5-4.
Impressive work, man. And what an interesting call it is, right? To send 3 strong through the back alley. And if you're Atlanta FaZe, you're trying to give that call out. You're like, okay, I got 1, I got 2. Okay, I got the entire team and I'm dead. No picks for Atlanta, as you said. Such great attacking rounds, but can LAG do it on the defense and send us to a round 10? Pressure is on. Arcitys once more going to give the information there on the cross. Tosses out the nade. Looks to reposition. Spart, what a great kill this could be onto aBeZy. Tags him up, but ultimately nothing done. Slasher, in the meantime, has earned that glide bomb. And it's got Arcitys' name written all over it. First pick there for the Guerrillas.
What a play from Slasher to find that kill onto Arcitys. Now that opens up the flank position for his teammates to commit, knowing that aBeZy already crosses towards B-bomb. As Atlanta FaZe, this is going to catch them completely off guard. You already have Huke able to take down Cellium. Now the pinch is going to come in. aBeZy and Simp, though. Tiny Terrors, they answer with 2 of their own. They know that 1 player is on the flank and 1 player is pushed out towards lower docks. If you're aBeZy, you just have to try to play your life here.
But can Simp get it here in time? aBeZy just trying to stay alive, trying to regain some HP. Simp has arrived. Simp is here. And Atlanta FaZe, somehow, some way, in the narrowest of moments, will be able to clutch out the 2v2 and prevent the round 11 from occurring. A bullet dodged as the cavalry gets there right in time. Simp and aBeZy close out the game and now bring us to a 1-1 score.
Oh, that's got to be a tough pill to swallow right there for your LAG. You get the opening kill with your glide bomb. You find the second kill. Then in the 2v4, you have players on the backside, players on the front. I would have liked to see them just give up that bomb site completely. Force them to plant this bomb. Do not run into their gunfight or run into these engagements with your head cut off. Like, Smart needs to stay alive towards lower docks. You cannot force them to get one-on-one gunfights. That allows aBeZy to win his one-on-one, Simp across the map to win his one-on-one, and then all of a sudden is a 2v2. That has to be a very frustrating round for LAG. Glide bomb to work with 4v2, at least around number 5. These mistakes are what cost them this map. It didn't cost them at Major 2, and obviously with the new roster, still some things they need to work out.
Yeah, and you just see, man, Simp finds that pick through middle, and he's just going to be a constant problem. And arguably, right, he delays Slasher from moving forward. Excuse me, he delays Huke from moving forward from that position. He arrives, he gets there just in time, and they just find the final picks there at the end. Impressive stuff out of Atlanta, but as we said, LAG making them work for it. We're able to bring it back toward the stretch. But Jay, we got ourselves a game, man. Coming to this Tuscan control. I mean, you and I, we were thinking, you know, you got the number 1, the number 8 seed, LAG. I mean, what? They're 1-10 since their Major II victory. Have not been in a great state lately. They've yet to win with this team. And now they're facing off against Atlanta, who looks so hot, versus Toronto, who've looked so good so far throughout Major IV. It's the sense of urgency, my man. It is the sense of urgency. Everybody realizes that they are on the bubble, and they're trying to do whatever it is that they can to try to bring any victory that they can to the table. Guerrillas versus FaZe, a 1-1 scoreline. When we come back after the break, it is time for Tuscan Control to see who will go up in this series.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew and Zenny. Armor your eyes with Blocks gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenny.com/CDL.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the final match of the day. The Atlanta FaZe taking on the LA Guerrillas. You thought it'd be Atlanta FaZe who were going to be up 2-0 in this series, but you all were wrong. It is 1-1 as we head into this Tuscan control. Jay, make me excited with some stats, buddy.
This is gonna be a tough one for LAG. Overall,
Okay.
2-8 on this map compared to Atlanta FaZe, who are 11-5. And if you're LAG, 1-9 in their last 10 controls. You see the offensive and defensive difference. Third for Atlanta FaZe, first on the defensive side compared to 11th and 5th. Not gonna be an easy task to get done if you're LAG. I'm looking at the SMGs to really have the same impact they did in map 1.
I'll be honest, Jay, you know, I was looking for a little bit more in terms of you know, some excitement factor, but I guess if you're an Atlanta FaZe fan, you are ecstatic right now, all things considered. Arcitys and aBeZy starting things off with a double headshot, which just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Regardless, though, LAG, primed and ready. I've had really little to no problems whatsoever so far at this A objective. We've seen this come out a few times from Atlanta FaZe, allow for the full A capture to go on through. As that second tick does end up happening, aBeZy ever so sneaky on the flank, able to take away at least one for the moment, but LAG handled business, handled the wave, and that A zone is all but theirs.
A zone is done and dusted. Now, if you're Atlanta FaZe, it's all about setting up around it. Having one player watch the back, a couple players at least pushed out towards B5, but they have full mid-map control. Arcitys takes down Huke. Now you know that the pressure is going to be coming in from the back. Smart and Slasher at least combined for 2, so early aggression coming in towards this church. They're going to be able to take control of top radio, but do they read this player in Simp pushed out towards B5?
That'll be the question. Any pick that Simp gets is going to be great. Slashers, he slid on through. Did get found. Last player alive is going to be Huke. What seemed to be a great little push up there out of the Guerrillas. They were all sandwiched inside of top green, top broken, top church. Eventually found out, and a large part of that was because of Simp's play. Does get dealt with toward the field, and so another push lined up already for the Guerrillas. Minute 30 on the clock, and now they make their attempt toward the field side.
Once again, they're going for that church control. They can easily maneuver across the map and transition over towards Plat. So Atlanta FaZe, they're ready for this push. 2 players on point, 1 player all the way pushed out towards P5. Just waiting for at least 1 player to commit towards the flank. But now he knows that the action is going down towards the middle of the map. You have 1 player in aBeZy at least watching that flank, takes down Huke, and once again, that's another great push shut down by Atlanta FaZe. They're ready for the gunfights. Arcitys not slowing down. Shuts down all that pressure towards P5. Having himself so far a map answering into this series.
Oh, and having a little bit of a hard time trying to get through the blinds of top fire, but not a problem right now from Alec. Having himself a map, as you said, buddy, on a 4 spree, 7-2 in this game. Constantly being a problem right now for Guerrillas. He's not the only player that's going to be on a spree. It's also going to be Cellium on 5. aBeZy just happens to be on 2. We'll see if he can extend that spree. Yep, you bet he will. A 12-team spree for the moment from Atlanta FaZe. It's really just a shooting gallery at the moment. 8 versus 19 in lives. Guerrillas, one last good push at this. They've got to be careful not to give the opposition some streaks. Not going to happen. Round going to go the opposite way. And Cellium is going to have a glide bomb, and maybe so could aBeZy. Okay, they'll have 1 glide bomb. They'll take what they can get.
That was just way too easy for Atlanta FaZe. They shut down both pushes from LAG trying to attack the back. That wastes a lot of time. When you're committing 3 players through field side to take control of church, if that push gets shut down, it takes you at least another 15 to 20 seconds to get across the map. They shut down both of those pushes, and then at that point, LAG just said, let's stack up towards P5. Let's try to win those gunfights. But Arcitys and aBeZy, the cutoff men, are able to hold down that position. Very dominant in the slaying first round for Atlanta FaZe. Have a glide bomb to work with as well.
Yeah, it also helps when Cellium is 8-1 through the first round. So that'll be something you have to deal with if you are the Guerrillas. Something to think about. At least a solid start. They run right into the jaws of Atlanta. They're able to handle business for the time. FaZe at least showing their cards when it comes down to that B zone. So LAG going to be kept on their toes for the most part. But Atlanta eventually do make their way back over toward that A zone. You can just tell, Jay, like they want to be problematic. They want to try and lure quite a bit of the numbers from the Guerrillas across the map, spread that defense thin. While Slasher does handle business, again, it's ultimately going to be a W in the end for Atlanta. Stop the clock at a minute, and that A zone is going to be captured.
And consistently, you just see the route that Simp is consistently taking. Always putting himself in towards P5. Even with his teammates winning a couple of those gunfights towards A, he's just playing for that one kill every single time in that position. Slasher takes him down. Cellium, unfortunately, with that team kill, is now going to slow down the aggression from Atlanta FaZe. Cellium finally gets taken down off of that 9 spree. So LG, they hold strong on their very first defensive side to hold that pressure from Atlanta FaZe. Now it's all about the map control. Neptune and Smart already pushed up on the map.
And Arcity's doing a great job to try and stay alive. Yep, dodging, ducking, but eventually gonna be pulverized. Actually had his head smashed through the wood to the bottom side of P5, so maybe a little bit of a headache, but it's all good. Atlanta FaZe quickly off the spawn, more specifically aBeZy bunny hopping through the field. No jokes, no games for the Guerrillas, however, as Neptune is there to silence him and force Atlanta FaZe back to the drawing board. Minute on the clock. And depending on how you look at it, maybe 2 to 3 more good pushes at this. And a good start for LAG, holding on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, they're so far pushed out on P5. They have all map control. One player in Simp does sleep his way through, though. Through field side, and at least makes his way into top church. He just needs his teammates to win a couple of these gunfights. But now with him taking a couple of little shots onto Huke, it's going to force LAG to turn around, knowing his position. They have to take him down. Do put some pressure on, though, if you're Atlanta FaZe towards that top plat, but Huke back into the play.
Oh,
at least finds the first, finds the second as well. The nuke entering in this control.
Okay, Huke, just from the skies, not a problem in the world. Great work out of him, Atlanta FaZe. Now, as we talked about, one last good push at this, but how about Huke? Once more, rolling through the top side of the church, ready to pounce at a moment's notice. A great defensive round, answered by an even better defensive round. Guerrillas locking things up. Smart, ever present toward the backside of the tank, and he is setting his teammate up for a little bit of success. It will be a back-to-back assist. Huke, I believe, did earn the glide bomb before touching grass. LAG answering back.
That was like a mirror defense for both of these squads. Like, outslay by 12 kills. You only allowed them to get 3 segments done at a point. And both squads did end up earning that glide bomb as well. Huke has one, and still Cellium has one in his back pocket. So, what started off as a great defensive round from Atlanta FaZe is answered by a great defensive round from LAG. They're playing at a totally different level today, with a little more fire underneath their chair.
Yeah, man, they absolutely are. Like, we just weren't for sure what we were going to get out of the Guerrillas. Like, you're facing off against Atlanta FaZe. You've gone down 0-2. You're off a loss versus New York, where we just felt like they were going to be so much more fiery, right? It's Neptune versus NYSL, and it just didn't feel like that, right? It just didn't feel like LAG had a whole lot of life after their last series, but maybe recognizing such, taking a look at the standings and realizing how close they are from falling into that bottom 4 has reinvigorated this team, as they have come out of the gates hot versus Atlanta FaZe, versus the #1 seed in the CDL, and are making them work for everything. LAG able to clear some work over at that A zone. And again, we'll see if defense can reign true or if the Guerrillas can crack the code. Arcitys, meanwhile, is on the flank.
Arcity's not going to try to give it the same point. Searching with Atlanta FaZe, able to find that 2 kills in the feed, but one player does slip on through. It's going to be Neptune. He's just on that pressure onto Cellium. 8 point is going to be captured, and Neptune not slowing down. Versus his way into top church, finds that kill onto aBeZy. Now, your LAG, it's all about maintaining this map control. You know that Huke, the player that's going to slowly make his way into P5, he gets that kill. Now you're forcing all of Atlanta FaZe to play out of their base.
Just stagger him in the back. A great nade over the top from aBeZy. One player makes their way to the point. That's going to be Smart. Here comes Huke, fiery as ever, ready to shoot. However, it's aBeZy who takes him down. LAG not having numbers, but it doesn't matter for Smart. He's staying alive, pulls out the MP40, and Huke ready to rain in from the skies. Everybody take cover, because here he comes. Cellium falls. Arcitys does as well. Nades, explosions everywhere as MC decides to pull out the glide bomb. And as the dust dissipates, it is LAG realizing, you can tell, like, they were caught off guard. They're like, is that everybody? Is everybody out of the base? Indeed, it is. 1 tick captured from the Guerrillas. They will take it, but here they come again, Jay.
Here they go. LAG Putting pressure on through P5 once again. Arcitys has a couple huge gunfights in front of him. If he can take down one, even better. But Smart and Neptune combined for two. aBeZy, the next line of defense, he's gonna slide right on in. He can't get taken down. Smart finds another. Slasher with the assistance to find the third. Slasher with the second. So the second tick is about to be complete. And already, even if LAG do not win this round, this has been a successful attacking round. Slasher, the Liddy goat, gets a 3-piece in the feed. The stack is here, and LAG come out swinging on the attacking round to secure that one for them and now put themselves up 2-1 in this map. What a round out of the Guerrillas.
That was utterly impressive, Jay. Like, every single attack was so good. Obviously, the last one is even better considering what they were able to do, but this does not look like a team who was 1-9 in their last 10 controls.
Absolutely not. Not even a team that's lost their last 2 series. They're going up against the best of the best right now in Atlanta FaZe, and they're taking it to them.
They are indeed. Slasher on a 5 spree coming into this round. Will it be the final one of this game? Are the Guerrillas about to go up 2-1 versus Atlanta? We are about to find out. They're currently up 2-1 in this very map. One more round to go. Can Atlanta FaZe force us to the round 5? And they're gonna have to keep attack on their mind as they will force the issue over at A. No funny business as aBeZy and Simp both taken down. And you see Neptune, confident as ever, decides to make his way through. Really, as long as you are LAG, just trying to be present, right? Cause some issues, make them work for this last tick and get as much time off the clock as possible is going to be the objective. And now FaZe left at a standstill, left at a pause. What do they want to do?
Gonna group up and attack this through P5. They have to find this kill onto Slasher. Such a big kill coming in from Simp to shut down that glide bomb. Is now Atlanta FaZe. Transition over towards this B bomb. You have towards this P site. You have one player on point. Trying to slowly work towards this first tick of progression. They know that they're currently down by 6 segments. They need to complete both of them. They want to have a chance at defense. As they are just circling around this B point, trying to find kill after kill. aBeZy finds the first onto Spark. They know that the player in Neptune at least is on the point. You have Simp here for the trade. First tick is about to be complete at B point. The double stack is in, but multiple players now collapsing on B, able to take down aBeZy. Now this is going to force all of Atlanta FaZe to transition over towards A. And LG, they're going to be ready for it.
They are. They're going to be ready for it. A little bit of a sweat off the brow type of situation if you are the Guerrillas. 1 tick, that's fine. 28 seconds on the clock. That's something that you got to think about, especially if you're FaZe. But here comes Neptune, takes down 2. 25 seconds left, and aBeZy recognizing such. Does he go for the kill or does he go for the time? Makes the right decision as Arcitys tries to make himself comfortable inside of the base. Somewhat even when it comes down to lives. That A zone is going to belong to Atlanta. Minute and 24 on the clock. Can Atlanta make the play and capture these final 2 zones, or at least eradicate, eliminate enough of the LAG players to send us to a round 5? Spart left in the spot to try and clutch, at least needs to find one, not able to do so. Here come FaZe.
The pressure's coming in from the back, but it's all going to be about that gunfight from the front, from top P5 area. Arcitys trying to slowly work his way up, and unfortunately does not win that gunfight for Huke, so Huke gives them an extra life to try to break into their setup. They're able to find every single kill besides one. Cellium, the last player left up in the back of their spawn. 45 seconds to work with. LAG just have to hold strong.
They've got to hold strong. Huke decides to fly on 4 and eventually does get taken down, but it's Spark was able to lock in. One also locks in the second. Cuts down Simp. 30 seconds to go if you are Atlanta, and you've got to pause for a moment and begin to push on forward, but Spark continues to lie in wait, block them from their ultimate goal. 30 seconds now down to 20 seconds. Atlanta, they've got to make a push, but it's Huke who falls at the hands of Slasher. A team nade. Here comes Atlanta, brewed up and ready to go, but everybody hits the deck outside of aBeZy. He eventually drops as well. 5 more seconds. Can anybody from Atlanta FaZe try and touch the point? And they will not. Guerrillas answer in the control. An unbelievable sequence of events. You've got to be kidding me. A team who was 1-9 in their last 10 controls just beat the masters of Tuscan Control in their own environment. and now are up 2-1 in this series.
Unreal, man. Vanguardium Leviosa. What is happening in this series? LAG are just firing on all cylinders. That's 2 respawns that they're able to take away from Atlanta FaZe. The first one was a Bowcade. Okay, they beat them previously on that one. Now they're going into a Tuscan Control where statistically they're sitting at 2-8, have not found a lot of success. Going up against a team like Atlanta FaZe, this is their best control map. They come out and get it done. They secure that very first round. Atlanta FaZe, they do a great job of at least securing that very first round of the defense, outslain by 12 kills. At that point, I'm thinking Atlanta FaZe is just gonna walk away with it, but LAG, they shut me right on up. They answered with the same exact defensive round that Atlanta FaZe did, and then a little bit better on their attack. They transition over towards B beautifully. Slasher does a great job with the nade, and then eventually with the gun to get those 3 kills to eventually close out that B point. And you can see the entire time Atlanta FaZe were on their attacking rounds. So much map control for LAG. Consistently push that towards the middle of the map. Consistently push that through P5, forcing all of Atlanta FaZe to try to overextend through field is not the way you want to get it done. LAG up 2-1 in this series. Now going into a Berlin hardpoint where this statistically is their best hardpoint sitting at 9-4.
I was getting ready to say, Jay, like if we were looking at this map set coming in, you and I were talking about it. I mean, how obviously favored they are going to be for Atlanta no matter what, but more specifically, it was just about the game 4. You know, if LAG can somehow get to the game 4, that would be great. The fact that they're up 2-1 with this possibly being the closeout is incredible. As you said, their best hardpoint, and this has not been a map that Atlanta have played all that much this season. It's what I think it's been their auto veto.
Yeah, they're sitting at 3-3 compared to 9-4. So if you're LAG, this is where you need to close this out. You cannot afford it to go to a game 5 where Atlanta FaZe have been looking lights out in Search and Destroy, but just the way that they have been playing, the way that they're controlling this game, Slasher being the anchor for this team. We saw it all on map 1. Atlanta FaZe simply could not flip those spawns for P2. On a map like Berlin, you need your ARs to hold down their positions, and the way that Slasher has been playing so far throughout this entire series, the Liddy Go is trying to make it the champs for sure.
He is, man. You could just tell. I mean, I know the continuous phrase has been the sense of urgency, but you can just feel it across every team, right? Whoever is on the bubble, those bottom 4 teams, even the teams who are teetering at the top, and those 6, 7 to 8 seeds, they are feeling it right now. And LAG, who are so carefully, I mean, balancing on a knife's edge, when we talk about the top 8 now are up 2-1, is what a result it would be if they were able to lock this bad boy up in 4J. I mean, this would be, I don't know, it's been one of the crazier upsets that we have seen this season, given the way that FaZe have looked, right? We came into this series, talked about how they have looked like their best, arguably, of the season, versus LAG, who, as we said, are like 1-10 since Major 2. Like, we have arguably the team who was on the biggest upward trend versus the team who was on the lowest upward trend, and somehow this result is happening. I don't know what to say anymore, Jay. This is crazy.
I don't really know what to say either, man. We're going into a Berlin hardpoint with LAG winning 2 of the respawns. We're probably thinking it's going to be the other way around. Atlanta FaZe just not coming out hot. They come out hot in the beginning of that control, but then they slow down towards the very end. The biggest question for me was LAG, when it came to this roster change, how would their submachine guns look? It's nonstop pressure. No hesitation from Neptune and Huke. Doesn't matter what numbers that they're putting up. It's just the positions that they're putting themselves in are so impactful right now for LAG when it comes to these respawns. They need to do the same exact thing going into this Berlin hardpoint. Just slow the game down, make it a little bit easier for your SMGs.
And I'll be honest, Jay, like, I mean, when it comes down to this game 4, I was planning on asking you, who are you going to look out for the LA Guerrillas to close it out? But honestly, I want to ask you, who are you looking out for from the side of Atlanta FaZe, right? To send us to a game 5. Who are you looking out for on this Berlin? As we said, a map that they're not that well seasoned on, an auto veto in their history. Who do you look out for from this Atlanta FaZe team to try to turn the tides and, as we said, send us to that 5th and final game?
I think the player that steps up every single time this young man has himself a great series. Atlanta FaZe usually find themselves out on top, and it's going to be Arcitys. Arcitys kind of had a slow start to those first 2 maps, steps it up on that map number 3, but on a map like Berlin, where you are going to be that flex player for this team, you have the ability to switch out whatever weapon you need to at any given time, but you need to have more an impact here with your AR in hand, going up against Slasher and Smart, who have been shooting lights out this series. 0.7 out of him, and even a 0.7 out of Simp. Simp has been a man on a mission so far in this
Oh
stage.
my
He needs to step
goodness.
up as well. But look at Slasher, 1.5, Huke 1.2, and even Spark doing what he needs to at a 1.08, two-piece when needed, and Neptune at a 0.92. Exactly the same thing, two-piece when needed, non-stop aggression. They're playing well.
Vintage Slasher is what we're seeing right now. Thanos indeed. And can he help lead the team to a 3-1 victory over Atlanta with the odds stacked against them at their most? Can they come out and deliver? We're taking a look at a number of different players, but as we said from the LAG side, rather, Slasher has been one of those players with the numbers he's been able to provide for the team. We'll see if he can step up once more. P1 favoring Atlanta FaZe here off the rip. They've got the preferred spawns, but LAG group on up. They find the kills that they have to, and now they've got an opportunity for some control.
That's a great break from LAG to not allow Atlanta FaZe to walk away with all this time at P1. They only give up 14 seconds. They should be able to take the lead right on back.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Huke has got that look in his eye right now. He's not slowing down. At least finds 12 seconds off that P1. Off the rotation, though, LAG have more bodies ready for this attack. Arcitys at least puts himself in a great position towards lower water, but it all comes down to these gunfights. aBeZy, first player in, with assistance from Arcitys, able to come out on top of the engagements, and that's going to be an easy rotation for Atlanta.
Yeah, and great poise right out of Atlanta FaZe, more specifically Arcitys to hang out in that corner right when LAG looked to make their attack in their first team fight of P2. He's there to silence one. And at least put that thought in the back of the minds for the Guerrillas. They're thinking, hey, we got to clean out Arcitys. Where is he going to be hiding at? Thankfully, Huke is able to do the job for the first. Spark able to bring one down for the second. Trades a plenty, but ultimately favoring LAG. They've got the more preferred spawns, and they're able to flex them, put them to use. One sole player lies inside of the hill, but Guerrillas look primed and ready to maybe take the advantage. Slasher does get picked apart. He falls, and Atlanta continue to do a great job at poking away seconds at P2, meanwhile holding spawns for next.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to do if you're Atlanta FaZe, not give LAG any cushion for them to get back into this game. It's all going to be on these gunfights. Neptune actually slips his way in through street. Simp does take care of him, so that's going to secure the spawns for Atlanta FaZe from the back. 7-point game now. LAG needs to execute this break. You have one player committing all the way around water side, one player pushing through fire. They're trying to find that opening at least through street side to push out and flip these spawns. That two-piece might just be enough to do it.
Yeah, that's a great kill. A great kill there on to Cellium. It's going to put that much more pressure on Arcitys and Co to try to go big. It is Huke for 2, but Cellium, who makes his way in from plat, pinches in, but Spart is here as well. 3 hit the deck at a moment's notice, and how about the break out of LAG? Plenty of time still to go at this hard point. Somebody even hops out of the objective. I don't think they even believe that they just broke that hill.
Especially not because Spark, he was looking at waterside the entire time. That one player who was staying alive with aBeZy, and he stays alive so long that 2 other players spawned on him, but Spark, he said, does not matter. I am beaming right now. Finds himself on a 5-3 before he does get taken down. And with the remaining junk time also getting broken by Atlanta, they're going to be here early off the rotation. Now LAG, once again, playing from the back foot, have to break.
And what a scrappy game we have got ourselves. This is a 57 to 55 game. Huke! How about the kills out of Huke the Nuke? 12 and 6 is LAG Røkkr into the back lines of the spawn. Atlanta FaZe stand no chance if they are going to be firing like this. Huke eventually runs out of ammo, but thankfully the teammate support is there. They've got the time, they've got the advantage, but Arcitys, he finds a double. Atlanta eager as ever to hop back in this objective, get some momentum flowing their way, but right when they do that, it's a team nade.
A teammate, unfortunately, takes down Cellium. So now with 15 seconds remaining on this P4, if you're LAG, your main focus now just has to get control of that P1. You want to try to flip these spawns, not allow Atlanta FaZe to trap you in the back towards warehouse. And it's going to be on Neptune, the guy that slips through, makes his way through low dark. Arcitys is able to spot him. But now you see what that does in the communication. Simp's going to be the player to focus on him. Backs all the way up through back warehouse. Should be able to find this easy one.
Yeah, and really honestly, just shout out to Hot Hands Lounge for showing us that exact perspective. Just one of the more valuable lives going on right now in a very, very scrappy P5. LAG attempting to flip those spawns. Huke does sneak his way on through, and that flip is in fact going to be in. Spark spawns on top. And LAG, job accomplished. Again, you want to fight for these final 30 seconds. They'll at least grab a few of these points, but they've got got those spawns for new. LAG prioritizing, and it is working out in spades. Slasher right now sitting on the 3 spree while Neptune is going hunting for somebody that exists toward the top, quite literally trying to do something in regards to the standings. Take players out who are on top of you, and Neptune, now it's his time for a highlight.
And they're feeling super confident right now. The young man has come into play today on a 4 spree. LAG do a great job of just sinking that time. Now able to chain it to that P1. Forcing all of Atlanta. Try to break this from a front. Simp does find that opening 2-piece. So it's going to be on Neptune and Slasher. What can they get done from this position? As Huke with the flank. It's all going to come down to a 1v1. aBeZy versus Neptune towards top plat for this time. At least if you're aBeZy, you want to at least stay alive long enough for your teammates to get back into the play. But Neptune, he attacks, he strikes, and finds 2.
And how about this play out of Neptune? Some great work to take down both Simp and aBeZy. Does he have Arcitys lined up as well? While Huke is attempting to make the flank. Everything watched right now from LAG. Atlanta FaZe has to check both ways before crossing. Pistol is out for Spartan. He'll take that gunfight victory too. LAG can do no wrong, up big as we prepare for Library. And boy, do Atlanta FaZe need these points, Jay.
Atlanta FaZe need to stop this bleeding. LAG are breaking into every single hardpoint whenever they need to. And the crazy part about it, is that they're 10th overall on this map in break percentage. When you have players hitting routes like the way that they're doing so far, makes their job a little bit easier. But they shut down that pressure if you're Atlanta FaZe towards the back. Just trying to at least set up this pinch. aBeZy going to be the next line of defense. He eventually finds that kill, but LAG have a lot of bodies in towards the point. A 2v2 going to be on.
2v2 indeed. aBeZy actually does take down Simp in the exchange, so somewhat even numbers. Even if you're LAG, didn't have to necessarily do anything for it. Neptune caught off guard. The great stun comes through from Atlanta as they do reach the century mark. And as we said, they're trying to get these points. Trying to bring this game to as much of a level heading as possible. Simp, the farthest pushed up player. Ever comfortable right now inside of fire, trying to make a play on the backside. Eventually found out from Neptune. Great work out of LAG just to make sure these spawns are in and take down any scouts, if you will, out of the Atlanta FaZe camp. A massive hard point. Ready, up, and here we go. Can Atlanta make a break, or can LAG continue to hold?
This has to be a lockup for LAG. With the fact that they gave up a lot of time on that P2 for Atlanta FaZe to get back into this one, but the first line of defense is strong. They shut down 2 players towards street, 1 player towards the front. And eventually take down Cellium from that position. So now all they have to do is hold the pressure from fire and from the front side. Slasher does find himself on a 5 spree. The pressure's gonna be here from Atlanta. aBeZy and Arcitys get the break in. Now 30-point difference. Separate both of these squads. But you have more bodies here for LAG, able to come out on top in the engagements. 1 more player left in the point. Slasher able to take care of him, and the final 20 is going to go in favor of LAG.
Final 20 going in favor of LAG. Neptune was trying to make the play to go for next, but Atlanta able to read him out as well. These seconds incredibly valuable. Still ones to fight for as Arcitys does win that 1v1. Gets the final bit of seconds, but take a look at the plays being made from Spart, our Major II MVP. Trying to make MVP-like plays. He'll cut down Simp inside of the point. His position is going to be known, but he continues to pick players apart. Thankfully for aBeZy and Cellium, they cut down 2. The farthest pushed up players from the Guerrillas do get dropped, and now Atlanta FaZe can start to soak up a few of these seconds. But again, it's another player on the flank. This time it's Huke.
Huke is the player to watch. He's the player that slips on through and is going to break their entire setup and flip the spawns now for LAG. 30 seconds remaining on this. They find every single kill. They have the spawns, and they're getting closer to that 200-point mark. Trying to close this one out here.
They're getting closer. They're getting closer, Jay. We got to step aside and see how the comms are sounding. Let's go to a listening now with the LA Guerrillas.
P5 cell. P5 cell. Only thing, yeah. From me, play tight on this. One got cell. One shot P5. Back P2 door. I hear you. 100%. I think he chase me. On top of the tank, on fire tank.
Top left old. aBeZy on time, back to time. One shot time. One shot.
Front P2 or something.
One
went top 3. Wait, one guy.
P5 and one top P2. Top P2.
One shot here.
Take your time.
One shot as fuck.
Take your time.
I'm trying to peek this guy. I'm waiting for you guys.
Simp's backside time.
On top 3. On the right side time, Kyler.
Hey, got me. It's all good.
Take your time. Run up that ramp.
One shot.
Last stairs. Last stairs. I need two black stairs.
One shot.
We gotta take our time to get out of this.
I hit him with the nade on time, guys.
Someone tried to take her out, right?
One of you guys did. I'm going around that.
Okay.
This guy P1 win, bro. He jumped out like.
He's on time, left side of time. P1 side time. He's behind it.
And
Simp
Simp is clutch steps.
I hear you.
Get this guy full, bro.
I'm trying to.
I'm needing time. Yo, he's fire tank.
On over to BZ, one shot.
RC is fire. I one shot roll.
Yeah. Another guy close to P5.
One guy was push up our close
on the left side of it.
Alright. Dad, cat window. Pretty sure Simp is here too.
Yeah,
one guy's
they're gonna be
double one shot. Double one shot.
He's in new.
One guys are dub. I'm hitting pit.
He's in red room, guys. I hear you. I'm premium over your pit.
He could be in the good spot. Yo, dub, low dub.
Good spot, one shot.
Yo, he's on me.
Someone mid.
Kill him. Last guy dead. Yo, I'm going top 3. I'm only holding deep right, bro. I have on fire. I'm on the good side. Come on, they can be their side. I have on fire.
Yeah, watch this guy for fire.
They can go from fire. Yo, bottom fire, Simp.
That PG zone. I'm fire. I got fire.
Cells their side and one got two bottom fire. Two bottom fire.
You're gonna have to get the secret.
Already
Their side, one shot. Outer got me.
No, dude.
Yeah. All good. He was out.
Let's go big.
Oh my goodness, we have got a game on our hands and a potential game 5 as well. Atlanta FaZe take the minor advantage. LAG broke in right when they had to, Jay. They've got the spawns for new. We'll see if this could be the final hard point of this series or not of this map.
Oh, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be it right here. Either squad is gonna be able to walk away with this. Atlanta FaZe just need one clean break with all 4 down, and the pinch is gonna be here from Simp, the route man. At least puts himself in a great position, but with all of his teammates dropping around him, that's gonna be a clean 4 dead. LAG do flip the spawn, so just in case they can't win here, they can also close it out at P3, but Atlanta FaZe, they gotta go. LAG trying to do it right now.
They're trying to do it at this moment. Here comes aBeZy. He eventually gets found out as well. 2 players at ear's distance are going to be Atlanta. But they continue to fall. They continue to fall by the wayside. But it's Cellium who comes away with 2 of his own. Keeps the game alive for the moment. Can Slasher go big? Can Slasher go big? He's got 1. He's got 2. His teammates have got the 3rd. Simple fall. A few more points needed. And LAG are going to come away with the upset. They come away with the victory. An unbelievable sequence of events. A team we had written off, a roster we thought was headed for peril, comes away with the W versus the #1 seed in the CDL. Truly a stunner to close out the night as LAG go 3 for 3 in the respawns.
I'm at a loss for words. Like you said, 3 for 3 in the respawns. We heard Nameless even touch on it. The way LAG have been looking recently, the way that they're gonna find success in this series by stealing the search and destroys and 1 respawn. If you would have asked me before this series starts, LAG taking out Atlanta FaZe and 3 different respawns, I would have told you you're absolutely crazy. But they came to play the day. They knew the task they needed to get done. Currently sitting in the CDL points at 125 points, only up 5 points from the team in 9th. Not really a close cushion for them. They need every single ounce of points that they can get, and nothing better than getting 1 versus Atlanta FaZe and now put them up by 15 points from that 8 team. What a big win. We got to see the replay once again. Obviously, such a close scoreline between both of these teams. And when Simp hits this route, it's unfortunate that every single one on his team does not win a gunfight. They lose those gunfights. They flip those spawns. Now you put LAG in the driver's seat. You have to try to break this from the bad side. You hit this from multiple angles. I feel like even when Cellium finds that 2-piece towards that street side, that is where Atlanta FaZe can still potentially close this out. But they slow down. They back up off the point. They allow Slasher to cause them problems from top P3. I mean, from top P5. And I'm just at a loss for words still, man. LAG 0-2 so far in this stage. Get reverse swept by Toronto. Lose both of the hard points versus New York. And then come out and beat the #1 team that we currently have in the CDL in 3 respawns. This is what that championship DNA does to you. Slasher had himself one hell of a series from start to finish.
And it's crazy too, Jay, because as we talked about, right? This span of being like, what, 1-10 coming into this match, where it all started was a W versus the Atlanta FaZe at that Major 2 final, and they're able to do it again here in Major 4. It is madness. It is madness here in Major 4, but it's almost, it continues to strike you. The fact that they were able to do it in the fashion that they were, it wasn't a game 5 round 11, right? It wasn't this, you know, weird situation where they clutched up in a control and won both the S&Ds. No, man, they did it through sheer grit and just straight up gunfights. And one of the crazier upsets that we have seen this season, my friend.
And the crazy thing is that, like, if you go back and think about that search and destroy, they lose that in a 6-4. They were in a 4v2 to at least force that round number 11. They could have potentially won this series 4-0 or even a 3-0 with the way that they came out playing today. If you're Atlanta FaZe, you're probably thinking, all right, we beat LA Thieves, we beat Toronto. We could kick our feet up for this series versus LAG. They haven't been looking good, but they just get caught slipping, man. LAG come out firing on all cylinders and get the W when they need it the most. What a series, man.
Yeah, that's going to feel great. Obviously, if you're LAG, and that has to feel horrible, right? If you are the 4 teams that sit below them right now. We've been talking about how a few teams aren't getting crucial W's when they have to. That's allowed for LAG to stay in the top 8, and now they come away with the arguably one of the biggest W's they've had this season and the biggest one since their win at Major 2. We got to bring in the desk. Guys, what a wild series to close out the day. Out of all the games that we thought were going to probably steal away, you know, be one of the better ones, in fact, it was this one, Vel, and I don't know how you guys make up this one. I don't know how you put this one into words, but do your best, guys. What does that say,
don't
Vel?
understand. I'm sorry, LAG. I'm so sorry.
The Vanguardian Levioso
man.
at its finest just took place.
Yo, Vanguardian Leviosa. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, yo, shout out to LAG. I said it before the game started. The Major 2 champions will be taking on the Atlanta FaZe, and taking them on is exactly what they did. Ooh, you're gambling, man. How much money would you have put on this game?
Dude, I mean, like, knowing how some of these teams perform versus these top teams at times, like, you just never know. We said it before, and we were like, you know what? We've seen some teams take games off Seattle Surge like Boston Breach. Who knows? LAG might be able to come out here and take it. I didn't believe it. They come out here, and they look unbelievable in the respawns. Like, their teamwork was terrible in their first 2 games. In this one, they turned it up to a whole new level. Slasher was popping off. We've seen them multiple times, especially on that Berlin. They'd have control. They'd get broken by FaZe. What would happen? These are moments where LAG would crumble in their prior games. They re-break the hill. We saw it on that P4. I don't know where this LAG came from.
I know where they came from.
Damn, I love it. That was amazing.
Hey, y'all watched the same game as me, right? You did too? You know what it was? Yo, Huke. Huke showed up, and you saw what happened, man. Fried him. I love it. LAG got a big win. And actually, let's take a look at the points, because the simple fact that if LAG were unable to win this, it would have been rough. But yeah, they jumped out from 8th place to 7th, 135 on the board. And guess what? Their ticket to the biggest event of the year and possibly their biggest paycheck of the year is still alive.
That's a huge win, man. And you look at teams like Minnesota and Florida that have taken losses today. LAG losing those first 2 games, it's almost like okay now, since they were able to come out and beat the Atlanta FaZe. Like, on their schedule, that was probably a match they weren't expecting to win. And, you know, they're getting a little bit more comfortable, and now they're competing against teams like LA Thieves, like the Boston Breach.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy.
Okay, but this is also scary for Atlanta FaZe. Arcitys, he tweeted out, hey, you know, GG's, whatnot, said some nice words and says, we just didn't play as a team today. And for the Atlanta FaZe with a loss like that, okay, it's not all over, right? Reddit better not be blowing up and going crazy. But I want to see Atlanta bounce back even better next time, because for this team right here, for the gas that we gave them, I was expecting them to just tear it up this stage in the next major.
Yeah, I mean, it just proves that people still have a lot of stuff to work on. We really don't know who the top team in the game is.
Crazy.
As soon as, like, Seattle won, we're like, okay, best team in the game. And then Atlanta comes, they're looking crazy. Seattle loses a couple games, like, okay, Atlanta's best team in the game. Then Atlanta comes out and loses to LAG. We truly don't know, and this next event is gonna be bonkers.
This next event, we have the most competitive teams that we have had all year long. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Scump play of the game, baby. This has been a wild ride. The end of hard points.
This is crazy. So, I mean, on this rotation, LAG obviously gets full control. They win all their gunfights, but I thought FaZe were going to be able to edge it out here. So they ended up collapsing onto the hill. They spawned over at trains. And you're going to see Cellium's the last one left. Cellium ends up getting a crazy 2-piece. So you see Simp dies in the hill here. Cellium comes through mid doors, wins one. The reach out comes in from Huke, and somehow Cellium wins that gunfight on a Huke and Neptune. And then they get control, and you see FaZe desperately flooding the hill, trying to get inside, and Cellium, he gets out of the hill, tries to play a corner, gets taken out, and right here, Slasher just goes big. The MVP of the series for me gets a big kill on the stairs, and then turns, baits, the trade comes in from Huke, and that's GG right there. FaZe had the opportunity there, man. Just a wild game.
Dude, beast mode, right? But you know what the thing is with LAG? And it sucks to say it, but like when we would watch them lose at the beginning of the year, we would always have discussions about this team and how we felt about them. Same thing we do with every other team, right? And Nameless at the beginning of the year, oh, by the way, since we're on my one, yo, LAG, I'm so sorry. Congrats on the big win. Nameless was saying this team is scary. Slashers from my hometown, so it's like, yo.
They're first, yeah.
I like this team. I want them to pop off. They won the major, fell off big time, but when they win like this, they have moments where you look and it's like, yo, Slasher's a dog. Huke is filthy.
Yeah, we all know they have the individual talent. It's just can they put it together on a consistent basis? We'll see, man. Like, this is a huge win. This might be the confidence builder that they need. They're back in that top 8 spot. Points-wise, they're still okay, right? So
they are.
We'll see how they go going forward.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Major 4 schedule for LAG, by the way, to see which teams are going to be facing off against as they keep their chances, hopes alive. They have Boston Breach next. That's going to be crazy. You got to win out. You got London.
I mean, this is a team that we chalked up straight to the losers bracket. Like, after we saw his first 2 losses, knowing that they have to play the Atlanta FaZe, we're like, they're probably going to be in the LB. So this makes the bubble really, really interesting, Belly.
They're competitive with Boston in the bubble as well. I mean, you're going to want to knock that team out. You don't want Boston to do well if you're LAG, but also, speaking about hometown peoples and whatnot, we got the California native, the Fairfield native. We got Slasher on the mic for the Game Field Victory Spotlight. Slasher, man. It's been a rough ride for you and your team, but my question is, right, what did you eat this morning, and what the hell was the game plan for FaZe, and how can we do it again next time?
I mean, this morning all I had was some oatmeal early on, and then a protein bar, and I just made sure to stay hydrated and drink a lot of water. But the game plan, I mean, it's just what it always is like sticking to the game plan, things we go over in practice, and when we do that, you see what we're capable of. So, I mean, yeah.
Slasher, man, congrats on the win. I gotta admit, like, I was not a believer in this change, and then, you know, you guys proved me wrong once again. But I want to know sort of the mental behind making this change. Obviously, you take Asim out and you put him on the bench. He was like your in-game leader, and you bring in a player like Neptune. So what was your guys' thought process behind making this roster change?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that our team was headed down a dark path and we needed like a 2-man change, because like usually in situations like that, 1-person change doesn't really do much. So we wanted to completely switch up the vibe. And I think bringing back Chris is a no-brainer. We had success with him. He's really good at S&D and helped our team win Major 2, obviously. And then with Nep, he's been frying in challengers and was probably the best sub player out there. So, and as well too, like these guys all grind S&D together, like they have some chemistry. So we felt like this is our best chance at making something happen.
Hey, yo, Slash, man, your next 2 games are gonna be, they're gonna be bangers, man. You got Boston and also London Royal Ravens. What do you gotta say to the believers out there, the fans, and tell them that you're keeping the hopes alive for champs, man. You guys are still in the race, you're not gonna fall out, right?
Yeah, no, hopefully not. I mean, I love champs. I feel like I've always been a champs player, big time, you know, stage and stuff like that. So I'm trying to make it there again and keep my streak alive. Just keep believing in us, keep supporting, like we're working hard. I'm trying my best to become the best player in the game or do the best I can to help my team win. And yeah, hopefully we can keep pushing forward and make it happen.
Well, shoot, man, when you dropping 1.42s in games, you're the best version of yourself all the time. Hey, we'll talk to you later, man. You have a good night, all right?
Thanks, guys.
No problem. All right, so, yeah, that is that. We have a Game Fuel tactical play as well. Let's throw it up on the screen. Yo, today has been, I'm still mind blown. I did not see this series coming out the way it did, but yeah, man.
It was crazy. This is another wild series, man. New York comes out and gets the win versus Surge. Yeah, this is the round that we broke down earlier. He goes up top. He just hits him with some Hydra moves. Like this guy literally just jumps straight out this window, plays his life. Prim, you know, gives him the Overwatch, looking up top, just supporting him, make sure nobody goes in to try to get that kill onto Hydra. Seattle trying to hit him with the cheeky play with the quick plant. Mack runs away. You see the aggro chow right here out of Kismet, and then Hydra instantly goes to defuse the bomb. Like, it's perfect timing. He knows that the player that planted it backed up. He's dead. Crim's looking over him, so he feels like he has liberty to hop on it. He commits to it instantly, no hesitation, and gets that defuse. Just a wonderful play that we don't see often.
You know, man, New York, I think they're a lot better than we think they are. We just have to wait for the major to see it. You know, we're going to talk about that in just a second as we recap the games we had today. Starting off with London versus Florida, and yo, London, those some bad boys, man.
London was popping off, man. Listen, we don't know like the true potential of this team now, and you know, in this series, what we saw, like Gizmo actually had a crazy performance throughout this series. Like in the last couple ones, like yeah, they were winning, they were frying, and Gizmo wasn't going off as much as, you know, the rest of the guys. But in this one, he really went crazy, especially on that Tuscan. So for this London team, like if they can keep up this respawn pressure, I mean, that hard point on map 1 was clinical. Like frying them on every single rotation. Then we saw the Berlin as well. The breaks that were coming in, like this is a team that's picked up where they left off from stage 1, stage 2. Like they look ridiculous, Veli.
As a Florida enthusiast, I will say this. I never enjoyed seeing a team I like get beat so bad in my life. The Ravens are legit, they're for real. And hey, Major IV, they're gonna be a problem. The next series though, we saw Paris Legion take on OpTic Texas, and surprise, Ellie's back, baby.
It was kind of close though.
It was a good game.
It was a pretty good game. I mean, out the gates, like we saw OpTic out the gates, they got a lead as you're seeing right here. But this game got a little bit dicey. We saw Paris get inside a barn. They got a little bit of time there. Some gunfights by Johnny where he was just absolutely frying. He honestly had a pretty good series.
I was kind of scared, I'm not gonna lie.
He had a pretty good series. I mean, I think it was OpTic just getting comfortable once again with this team. And then I think that game for Berlin was huge for Illy because he popped off. Scump had a rough time in the control, but then immediately bounced back as well in that game for us. So for OpTic, yeah, I mean, it's a game that you're expecting to win, but also you're trying to get comfortable.
But the thing is, scrims, they contribute differently with the results than actual game day results, right? Like, OpTic Texas is just getting back used to playing with Illy, baby. We saw Shotzzy get loose on both cage, and yeah, other than that, OpTic's fine. I'm happy they're back. Paris got another L, but the series after that, NYSL versus Seattle, right? Seattle got a big loss last time they were on screen, but then they came back today and got yet another L, back-to-back L's, and they should be full of them by now. Hopefully they start winning soon. But when it comes to New York Subliners, yo, I actually really disliked it when people wrote them off after losing that Major 3. And
It was close.
I'm gonna be
the
straight
Seattle
up.
match was really close. Like
They lost to the champions. They lost to London. Do you see what London's doing right now? This New York team is by far the scariest team in the game to me next to the Atlanta FaZe, and rightfully so, right? A dog is at his scariest when he's hungry, and this team, they're in 11th place, and they need all the points they can get to go to champs. So when you have a team like that with that storyline, you put Crim in the mix, I do not want to go against New York at all.
Yeah, they look great today.
Period.
I mean, the most impressive thing was probably that search and destroy, but also Kismet's individual play today was absurd. I mean, he won them that game 4 at the very end. There's the 2 huge plays that he made on rotation. I mean, like, when Kismet's giving you that, you're gonna win games. I love what I saw today out of New York. And also, like, to your point of, like, people riding New York off, it was a couple of just clutch scenarios that they gave up. Like, they had a really close game against Seattle. It's just matchup-wise, like, they're confident against this team. It can go either way anytime these guys go up against each other. So New York, I mean, in my eyes, they're a contender going into the next
Oh, they're a contender.
So, like, what happens in these next 2 games, like, we've seen the potential of this team. They can make a run.
Can't write them off for what happened at the beginning of the year, but they did turn a new leaf. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun so far. 2 days in week 2 for the Major IV Qualifiers, and we have 1 more left to go. Can't wait to see the games happen tomorrow. But for you beautiful people at home, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been great. Ali, we know you're watching. We miss you. Hurry up and come back, okay? Get well soon. But today was phenomenal. We're seeing teams like London and OpTic really just get back into the mix. But the beautiful part about it all is just a race for the points to go to champs. But the thing that we're forgetting is that Major IV is right around the corner as well. OpTic's back. You got LAG winning crazy games. New York is terrifying. Toronto Ultras in the mix. We're having some of the most competitive times in Call of Duty this year, and I can't wait to see it all come down Major IV. We'll catch you guys tomorrow for some more Call of Duty action. I love you. You take care, and you have a good night.